Okay, so this is the last part. You should have approximately 13-inch square. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 10 to make a hanging loop. You don't have to do this, but if you want to hang it on your wall. So 1, you're going to wrap, and you're going to bring through. 2, wrap, bring through. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I've run out, so what I'm going to do is for this, because it's just a hanging, I'm going to tighten my loops as tight as I can, because sometimes that's what happens. You just kind of run out of yarn. But your hanging loop doesn't really need to be very large, so you could just tighten your chains as tight as you can, easily, as tight as you can get your hook to go through. So you'll end up with a very small amount there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a slip stitch. So what a slip stitch is you're going to turn your work upside down, and you're going to take it so that you have the wrong side showing up. You're just going to take it, you're going to slip it into your first, to that single crochet. You're going to take your yarn and you're going to pull it through. And now I pull it all the way through because I'm done. So I'm going to knot it like that. That's how I'm going to knot it. And now you have a hanging. So the last step of your whole project, and one that some people don't much care for, is you weave in your ends. So put your yarn through your wool needle, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go through the back of your single crochets. And make sure it's to the back and not to the front side, otherwise you'll see it and it won't look as nice. So that's all I do. So I just keep going through until I run out of the yarn. Now you'll notice it will come out a little bit, but once you wash your project, it should hopefully stay in there well. Cotton will shrink in heat, to warn you. So when you wash these, I've had them shrink considerably sometimes. So I wash them on a cold wash, which helps preserve the color as well, because the color can run on these. And so you can even put one of the, you could just put it on a cold wash and it'll help. So when you're done, get it to the end, just snip it as close to the stitch without cutting the stitch. And then you have one more end, and that will be at the bottom. And you'll do exactly the same thing. You'll just thread it through your wool needle. And then run it through the backs of the single crochets that you did at the bottom of at the very bottom, at the beginning of your project. And just run it until you either run out of wool, or until you decide that you're okay with how far you've gone. I'm going to probably go as far as I could go with this. By running it behind, what it's doing is it's going to hold your yarn, because it doesn't look very good to have your yarn end hanging out. But if you cut it too close to the knot, then you will end up having your work will unravel itself, because the knot will come undone then. But if you do it this way, then your knot won't come undone and your ends will be hidden. Well, I think that's I think that's pretty good amount of distance on there. So I'm going to cut my yarn. And now you're done your dishcloth. And that's the end of your project. Like I said, you can wash it or you can dry it. If you do wash and dry it, you will notice it could possibly shrink. If it does shrink, well, then you have a smaller cloth. I mean, these are pretty good sized cloths. So you do have a little bit of give in it for shrinking. But when you wash on cold, make sure so that you don't lose your color. And either line dry, or you can even put it in the dryer on an air dry cycle. Thank you very much for coming to watching my videos, and I hope to see you more. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.